welcome to the Ingazi Cadmus channel. I am Ingazi Cadmus. How to do, and how to do. I love the song. Dun, 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 dun. It's like I'm like, hey, dancing with it. So welcome, and today's going to be a bit different. The channel might go in a different direction. When I started this channel, I started it because I just wanted to practice speaking to a microphone and a camera. I never ever once felt or thought I would do YouTube because that's just not my thing. As I said in the last video, this type of creativity is not something that ever comes natural to me, nor something that I desire. I can talk. So it was kind of like a no-brainer when God said, well, share your message. And it's like, yeah, via YouTube. It took a very long time for me to get to this point. I dibbled and dabbled for many years, but I think I started exclusively 2022, taking a break for a couple of months, and I'm hopefully gonna come back 3 to 4 times a week, time permitting. So when I was thinking about potential direction, I was thinking about the fact that I don't see many people that look like me talking about what I'm going to begin to talk about on YouTube. Now you might say that, oh no, I do. Let me break it down for you. So, round of applause. I have just co-founded a digital health tech startup. I ain't going to say too much more about it. It's in the area of mental health, but it's technically a technological company. It's a tech company, and as a lot of tech companies do, they, work with a particular area. So Uber's a tech company, but they work with cars. Do you see what I mean? Delivery's a tech company, but they work with food. I'm creating a tech company, but it works with mental health. And I've got an amazing co-founder who is technical. So she is the CTO and essentially is managing and creating and developing the technology. So we will be the IP holders of it. So essentially we'll own the technology. We're not hiring contractors, it's all in-house. And it makes sense to some people because it's a natural evolvement from running a mental health service, which I do. I've been doing that for many years and it's been doing really well. It makes sense that I would want to scale it because the model that I have is not scalable in the fashion that I want to scale. And there's a limitation in how much people I can impact. So it makes sense that I use tech, tech is the thing right now, to create support for people. And one of the things that I've noticed in the industry that I'm in, particularly mental health, not necessarily not necessarily health. Healthtech is a very big, that's physical health, that's biomedical. There's so many things in healthtech, even medtech is an offshoot, but it's medtech. So healthtech is very big. It's very, 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 very big. But within mental health, a lot of the big companies, smaller companies, just a lot of my competitors, both here, Asia, America, a lot of the founders are not therapists or clinicians. They might be surrounded by them, so it could be their partner is a clinician, it could be their parents are clinician, or just deeply connected to a clinician, but they themselves are not a clinician. They are either business people or people that work in an industry similar or worked in a company similar and felt that actually they can do it better, or they've gone through their own mental health journey. A lot of them have gone through their own mental health journey and they looked around and could not identify the solution and they decided to be the solution. So, which is nothing wrong with that. That's how a lot of businesses are started. You see a need, you fill a need. But I do think the industry needs someone like me who actually is a clinician, who actually is running a service-based business, but now is going to create a tech-based business with not a similar model, but with the understanding and experience that I've gotten running my own business in mental health, and also still working in that. I think it's really important to say. Just wanna. Half of the video is the laptop. I think it's really important to say that I am still. We're back. Sorry about that. In me trying to move it, crap. I don't know. In me. We got there. Apologies. So in me, okay, I'm hoping it's all working. I might have to test it myself. Um, apologies. Okay, I think I'm cool. Hopefully. So it makes sense that someone like myself, right, who is a clinician who is knee deep in this. So, for some of you that don't know, I'm a mental health social worker. Now, slightly different in America. Mental health social workers in America can be clinically trained as therapists. That's not how it is in the UK. You are a social worker, a registered social worker, whether it's in children and families across 0 to 25, or working in adults from 18 to plus in different variation forms, from learning disabilities to physical health to mental health to older adults to children and young people to child protection, children in need, referral and assessment. There's so many different teams, to the homeless team, to teams that work in the police station, teams that hospital discharge teams, and teams that even those exclusive social workers that work in maybe airports and random places that you might meet a social worker. Oh, how did you get a job like this? So you're social worker, right? Then I picked up another skill, which is psychotherapy. I trained as a psychotherapist for 5 years, and then been a psychotherapist for. I've been a counselor for a while. Been a therapist for a while. It gets very confusing to know when, because I'm trying to remember when I passed my psychotherapy exam. So I've been a psychotherapist 5 years. Therapist, this is qualified. Been a psychotherapist for 5 years, a counselor for 6 years, but I've been training in psychotherapy 8 years, and then been social worker for 9 years. So I've got extensive experience, and I've been working in health and social care for over 16 years. I'm not good at maths, but I think that's right. So with that being said, I've been in an industry of helping people, from young people to children with disabilities to older adults to working age adults to young people with mental health issues. I've worked across the board. I'm also an approved mental health professional. So in America, you might call it committed. In other countries, you have used different terms. In the UK, for short, we say section. So when somebody is sectioned, it means that they're detained under the Mental Health Act. Can be against their will, so they may not be wanting to be in hospital, but we are depriving them of their liberty because we feel like they meet the mental health criteria to do so, for Section 2 or for Section 3 and other forensic sections. So that's a job that I take very seriously, because I am the jury, executioner, and judge, or however you call it, judge, jury, and executioner. And or essentially I take 2 medical recommendations from 2 medical professionals. One's usually psychiatrist, one can be a GP, but normally they're both psychiatrists. And I can detain somebody for up to 28 days. That's power. So the reason I say all of this is because I live and breathe this thing. I live and breathe this, right? I may not be a technical wizard and understand all of the technical know-hows, but I understand quite attunely what it is to have mental health struggles, what it is to feel unable to seek help, and what it is to seek help, as I've gone through that journey myself. So I think it makes sense that I've started this. It's exciting, scary, but very sobering, and I'm very thankful to God. So in 2018, I had this idea. But when the idea came, I felt very intimidated by it, and I did not understand how I could do it because I'm not, again, very creative and visual in that way. So when I can't visualize something, it's very hard for me to feel confident to do it. Two, again, tech was a big thing for me. It was like, me, do that? No. And the capital I was told that I needed, I was like, where am I getting that from? So it was a bit of a, that ain't happening. Then it came back to me in 2021. And again, at the time, I just struggled. I just didn't know how to go about doing it. And then interesting enough, several months after that particular moment in 2021 in February, when the idea that I currently am doing returned, I started to meet tech people. I started to work with tech companies as a provider of mental health support and services. And the last 2 years, I've been in the world of tech. I even went to the second biggest tech convention in Portugal last year. My friend had a free ticket, and I flew out there. And I was there, and it was amazing. But I was a bit like, why am I here? No, seriously, why am I here? Like, you know what I mean? I'm just a therapist. I'm just a social worker. And lo and behold, over 6 months later, I will be founding a tech company. And the person that I met, or some of the persons that I met in 2021 in the summer, after the idea that I parked originally in 2021 and in 2018, is now my co-founder. We share the same faith, we share the same values, and we're both Black women, so we're both underrepresented. So although that can be a challenge in terms of the facts and figures, we are not looking at it like that. We're going to use it as a strength, and we are going to disrupt the health tech business. 2 years time, you're going to see me as CEO of. So the company is called Happy Workers. There's no secret in the name. So Happy Workers with an I. So HPPI Workers. So you can check us out. I ain't got a website yet, but in a couple of weeks' time, for those that watched it in a couple of weeks' time, there will be a website. I'm going to talk about a journey. So I might still do other things if I see interesting viral topic. I'll talk about it until I begin to really share. But one of the reasons why I thought, let me share my journey, is because all of the business stuff that is out there, let's just talk about from black people, from a Black woman, because I don't want to say there isn't that. There could be a white woman or white man or another race and gender talking about this. I think it's that, but probably talking about their startup journey, right? The startups are different to just a business. My frontline therapist is a business. It's a small business because there's a level of scale that startups with the idea that it can scale massively at rapid succession, right? That's the startup. My current business is a small business that's doing quite well and it supports a lot of people, but it's not something that scales. Though it was quick, it's not in the fashion that a tech startup or other types of startups can grow. So that's the main difference. So people are talking about other types of businesses like coaching or product businesses. That's not like a startup, but it's still making a lot of money, but it's like a 1-man or 2-3-man band. So there are differences, and I do think there is a unique and peculiar journey that startups do go through because of investment and equity and all of these different things you probably hear when you watch the news or the Financial Times. And when you hear businesses get £20 million or $20 million and they rapidly grow, Facebook was a startup, Uber was a startup, Delivery was a startup. These are all startups that are now more established businesses, and they've scaled and they're worth, essentially billions of dollars now, or pounds. So I haven't seen anybody. I put that on Google, YouTube, and maybe I put the wrong thing, so I was still search. I'm not going to say I'm the first to do it, but because I couldn't see, I thought, why not share my journey as a Black female co-founder of a health tech business? Because I want to inspire other people. It's also a talking journal, and it's just an opportunity to kind of just share the highs and the lows. Because one of the things that is significant for me and very important for me is that when I get to the position I know I'm going to get to in that 2 years' time, one thing I'm aware of is that the audience, you guys will look at me and go, oh my God, there will be a disconnect, because there is going to be a disconnect. When I get to certain millions and certain point, people seem very far away, because there'll come a point right now, I'm like an everyday girl. I go to McD's, I'm going down, there's no come back. There's going to come a point where I'm talking to billionaire investors on a regular basis. They're on my phone list. I'm going to be a point where I'm talking. I don't mean it in that way. I'm saying that's what happens when your net worth changes. Your network changes, and there is a disconnect sometimes, not necessarily purposely, but you just find yourself. You're not going to just go down the road to the McDonald's. I probably will still do that because I'm not that way inclined. But when I'm talking on the camera, I'm talking about, I don't know, flying first class. For some people, it'll be like, wow, that just can never be me, or you just feel like I'm so unrelatable and distant. And it's very easy to disconnect and then feel like, well, you did it. I don't know if I can do it, or like that's good for you. But if I show you my journey, and if you can go back and actually track my steps, you can see I was just like you. That yes, there's going to come a point where I'm no longer relatable to the everyday person, but I am still the everyday girl. I'm still what I said in my podcast intro. I am an average girl talking to average women who can do extraordinary things. I will do this with my co-founder and it will be extraordinary. Not because I'm any better than you, but maybe what the difference is that I'm executing an idea that I believe God has given me. So you might be sitting here right now with an idea that you want to execute, but you're not doing it because of fear. And I would just say, you've got to do it. Don't be thinking about it, start doing it. I have not ever done this before, right? What I'm doing now is I'm being relentless. I want the big D energy. Yeah, forgive me for saying that, but that's that kind of energy that you need to have. Like when you see these men, particularly men that are so confident and they're a bit ballsy, I want to be like that with my authenticity, but I need to be like that because I need to position myself confidently. I'm going to be talking to a lot of different types of people, different personalities that sometimes haven't got time. I talk a lot, and sometimes I can talk very long-windedly. And those that really get me and like me like that about me because I know what I'm talking about, but I could just be long-winded. So I'm learning to be succinct. I'm learning to be to the point, but I'm also aware that I'm in a shark-infested waters. They see me, they might see, oh, I can take advantage of her. I don't know. I don't want to be manipulated. I don't want to be taken advantage of. I want me and my co-founder to start a business and to help many people make good money so that me and her, and she can do her thing, I can do my thing that we both have passionate about. But essentially, I want to give glory to God, serve His kingdom, and help people back home in Nigeria as well. So if you watch this video, if this stumbles upon anybody who watches this video, right, and you like my story and you potentially want to invest or just partner with me somehow, please email me. I think it should be on the YouTube. I didn't put it on this. It may not be too late to edit. Once it's up, I'll probably go in and edit it. So I'm going to put my email, Ngozi at happy. Ngozi, Ngozi at happy, HPPI, workers with an S, .health. But I'm going to put that down because I don't know where this video can go. It can go to somebody who's like, wow, she could go to an angel investor. Hey, invest. But essentially, I want this to really help you. So if you are a young Black girl, a young Asian girl, a young whoever, and you don't have to be young, you can be old, but if you are a person who has an idea but is scared, please, as long as you are doing it and you believe that God has given you this idea, take the first step, which is to get on your computer and to research. That's it. I didn't go into the fullness of my journey, and I will begin to do that because I really want to inspire people, whether it's one, whether it's 10, whether it's a million. Thank you for watching this and following me on this journey as the Black female startup co-founder of a healthtech business. I need to do a better line than that. I was flowing. You just messed it up. Follow me on this journey as I am a coach. Follow me on this journey. keep the mistakes in. This is just to show you, like, you can make mistakes, but follow me on this journey. As a Black woman, as a woman of faith who is passionate to serve humanity, follow me on this journey as I set up a health tech company with my co-founder called Happy Works. I see you in the next video. I see you in the next video. Hey, oh.